Should I Get? This is a show all about helping you connect and care for your current or maybe even a potential new pet. My name is Shay Galore, and I'm taking over for Julia Batchelor for a couple of weeks while she's on assignment. And I'm so happy to be here getting to know some really wonderful organizations and also getting to know some adorable pets that are here in studio. Callie Millerman is here from OSPCA to chat about volunteering and the National Cupcake Day, and she's brought an adorable kitten called Ruby. And Claire Fordren is here from Dogtail Rescue and Sanctuary. But first up, from Team Cat Rescue, please welcome Suzanne Kleinberg and a 10-month-old tabby. He's a male looking for a great home, and his name is Moose. Welcome.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about Moose and how you got him.
Okay. Moose is one of several cats that we rescued from a hoarding situation further up north. There's a lot of brothers and sisters there. There's about 7 of them. And we have them actually at PetSmart Richmond Hill right now waiting for adoption.
So what kind of house would he be suitable for?
He would be great in a house with young kids or an active home because he's got obviously a lot of energy, ready to go. He'd be best with another young cat, someone to wrestle with and play with, because what people don't realize is kittens are nocturnal. So while you're sleeping, they're not. And they are jumping off lamps and countertops and destroying things. And if they have another cat there that's young and plays with them, that stops a lot of that behavior.
That's a great idea. So what kind of responsibility is it to adopt a cat? Let's talk about that, because, you know, most people understand the responsibility, but you do get some people who are thinking about it and maybe not sure about if they should commit. What is the responsibility?
Well, like any animal, it's a lot of responsibility. I mean, you don't, obviously cats, unlike dogs, I mean, you don't have to walk them, but you do have to keep their litter clean. You do have to be mindful of the food they get. Some cats do better with kibble, some better do wet food. They will get illnesses and hide them from you. Also, they do need playtime. I mean, a lot of people think cats just, oh, it's great to have a cat, will just sit there and just when I'm ready to have it in my lap, he'll be in my lap. Not all cats are like that. No. They really need stimulation or else they get fat and they get miserable, and they're very social animals with people.
That's right. And they need love and attention, right?
And they do need, I mean, it costs money. Yeah. I mean, people don't realize, people will balk at the adoption fee, which is quite low, yet we remind people that food, vetting, litter, that all adds up, and that's assuming he doesn't get a sickness.
Right. Do you suggest that people buy insurance for their pets?
We do, especially people who are on a really tight budget. There's a lot of good insurance out there. You have to do some research. But, you know, like, for example, a lot of cats, if you're not careful, they will swallow things. So they'll eat yarn. A lot of people think yarn is great for cats. It's not. If they eat it, it gets stuck in their intestines. That's a $6,000 surgery.
Wow.
So we've seen a lot of people have that problem, and luckily a lot of them have had insurance.
That's right.
So it's, yeah, we do recommend insurance unless you do a savings plan on your own, like put into a, you know, a little pot of your own, like 25, 30 bucks a month at least. Right. For emergencies and make it grow, but yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Team Cat Rescue. It is rescue, not a shelter.
Correct.
So what's the difference between the two?
So most shelters are municipal. They're contracted by the municipality, which means you can walk in there and see a cat there. You go through a process as well and you adopt. A rescue is all volunteer. So it means people like myself, like a lot of our volunteers, just take their own personal time. We don't get compensated. We don't get free litter. We don't get free food. And, you know, we rescue these cats that can't go to the shelter, that are stressed in the shelter, that people, you know, we find in the streets. I mean, the shelters fill up really quickly no matter how hard they try. Right. Our rescue ourselves actually get our cats from shelters. Okay. Because a lot of cats are very ill, or shelters can't afford the vetting. For example, we get a lot of cats that have dental problems or that are seniors and need blood work, and shelters just don't have that money. So we, through donations, we end up spending money to do that, and sometimes we'll take palliative care cats as well. Wow. So it's really, you know, I mean, a shelter is a great place to get a cat. I wouldn't knock it, but we are all volunteers, so we're doing it. Not that the shelters don't love it, but we're doing it on our own time. So we do find people don't realize that difference and kind of feel that we're here to serve them, and we're kind of here to serve them.
That's right.
So.
And you're not just looking for people to adopt, you're also looking for people to foster.
Absolutely.
What's the difference? And especially with commitment as well.
Right.
What's the difference?
So fostering is really good when people can't afford a cat and they want to take care of one, when people aren't sure a cat's right for them.
Yeah.
So with fostering, we give you all the supplies. So we pay for vetting, give you the litter, we give you the food, but you just can't necessarily choose the cat you want. So you can't just sit there and say, I want a Siamese tabby.
Right.
It doesn't, or I want a declawed cat. It kind of doesn't work that way.
Right.
Because when we pull from shelters, it's last minute. So we can't just kind of pick and choose. But the advantage is you're not paying for anything. The advantage is a lot of our fosters fall in love. I mean, I'm a foster failure myself.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, it's the best kind of failure is a foster failure.
Exactly.
And I've done it. I think most people have done it. And a lot of people are afraid of fostering because they feel they can't give the cat up. And you'd be surprised. You can. I mean, sometimes you can't, and
Sometimes you
adopt.
don't want to.
You don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to.
But it's not the heartbreaking situation you anticipate it to
Right.
be. Sometimes there's a few tears, but all our fosters can keep in touch with the forever families that we call them and watch them grow, and then you can help save another life.
Exactly, especially if you know it's going to a good home, it's going to be
Absolutely.
loved. So this is a really good idea for people who are considering getting a pet, not sure of the commitment, maybe have never had a cat. It's a great commitment.
It's great for university students too, because a lot of university students move away from home and they're alone and they're lonely, but they can't afford to. We do get a lot of universities wanting to adopt, and we actually push them to fostering because we know they can't really afford it.
Right.
It's out of loneliness, and if you're lonely, I mean, it's a good time to give back and save a life while you're at it, and it works out really well.
So how does it work, the fostering and the adoption? What's the process?
So you would email us. We do have all our cats online. So if the cat is online, it pretty much means it's got a spot.
Okay.
So it's really looking for an adopter. So this process is the same. You email us for an application. The application is the same.
Okay.
And what we do is we will interview you and see what you're looking for, what your expectations are, and tell you how our program works. If all goes well, we may check either a vet reference or a personal reference. That is just to be sure that, sometimes things come up and then it's an educational opportunity.
Right.
Some people think that indoor cats don't need to be vaccinated or don't need to go to the vet regularly, which it gives a great opportunity for us to educate.
That's right.
Because, people don't know. There's not a lot. I think there's a lot of information on dogs, not as much on
about
cats.
cats. That's right. Well, thank you so much for coming, Suzanne.
My pleasure.
If you are interested in a moose or any of the other cats as a foster or as an adoption, make sure that you visit our website, rogerstv.com, and we'll be right back after the break. Stay with us. We are back, and we've got Kelly Milliman with us. She's from the OSPCA, and we also have a cutie patootie Ruby.
Yes.
She's 6 months old.
She is.
She's gorgeous.
I think so too. Yeah,
my
I'm
God.
falling in love.
She has these beautiful, yellow eyes and just
I know she's
black.
not looking at the camera right now, but when she does.
You will see, and you will fall in love.
Yes. She's
So-
very, very sweet.
Tell us about her.
Sure. So she will be up for adoption very soon.
Okay.
She's just going to get fixed and get her shots and all that good stuff. So she'll be available at our location on Woodbine Avenue shortly.
Okay.
She came into us with some other kittens. So she's only 6 months old, so she's still quite young.
Yeah.
So she has been around other cats. We know that. So if somebody out there is looking maybe to add another cat to their family, or she'd be great on her own too. As you can see, she's super snuggly.
She really is.
And she's purring right now in my lap, so she's a big love bug. So
She just sat and started purring. She didn't even look around. She didn't even want to know. She just I'm good.
she made herself at home here. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's good. So she would make a great companion for anybody out there who's looking to adopt.
Yeah.
And she's beautiful black short-haired cat.
Yeah, and she's got lots of energy because she's a kitten, so you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
She's going to be good with kids, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, if you have children at home, we often say it can can be great to adopt younger, just because then they're sort of growing with your family, and they have that opportunity to adapt to their new surroundings and all that good stuff. So for sure, I mean, I think she would be really great in any family, but like you said, she is still young, so she will need a little bit of attention, and she'll like to play a little bit, but as you can see, she also likes to snuggle and cuddle as well.
If someone is ready right now to adopt, how fast is the process? How does it work? What should they be doing?
Our process is actually pretty quick. The first step is always our Meet Your Match survey, which some viewers who may have watched before will know a little bit about it, and it's a fun little survey that the adopter gets to fill out. You can actually start the process from home because you can go on the website and fill out the survey prior to coming in.
Okay.
However, you can always do it right there on site. It just takes a couple of minutes. It's quite simple. Then you visit with the animal that you're interested in. You can ask us questions about the animal. We'll try and give you as much information, of course, as we have. And it's a matter of falling in love. Once you've fallen in love, we just fill out the paperwork and you pay the adoption fee and off you go. So essentially it can all happen, of course, same day, but really within, you know, an hour.
What should you do to get your home ready for, say, let's talk about cats. For a cat, what do we need to buy? What do we need to prepare?
Sure. So, I mean, that's a big one. You want to make sure that if you are going to adopt, get the space prepared. And with a cat, number one thing I always think of is the litter box, because we definitely want to make sure we're not having any accidents in the house. Keep in mind, it can happen when you first bring an animal home. They're in a new space. They're coming out of a shelter environment. They might just be kind of trying to figure things out.
Right.
But have a litter box available, maybe even two. If you have more than one cat in the home, you want to have one more litter box per number of cats in the house. Of course, get food ready to go, food and water dishes. Now, when you adopt from our location on Woodbine Avenue, we will send you home with some of the food that the cat has been eating in our care. That's for a couple of reasons. Stress happens. When a cat changes environments, their stress level goes up. Keeping their diet consistent is going to help keep their tummy settled, because of course we all know what it's like when going to a new place. Every so often your tummy starts to do somersaults, you're not feeling so hot. So we can reduce their stress by keeping their sort of certain things the same and consistent as they go into their new home.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have an event coming up, National Cupcake Day, and it's February 27th?
It is. It will fall Monday, February 27th, but we're chatting about it now because we are excited to get people baking. So we're telling everybody, get ready, get your ovens preheated because it's time to start baking a difference. It's definitely the most
I like that pun.
It's definitely the most delicious campaign of the year, and it's our biggest campaign of the year. And what's fun is it's really about folks at home, folks that are watching and want to get involved. You know, maybe you can't come out and adopt. That's okay. You can still help us. And this campaign is about baking cupcakes, or some folks prefer to go to a bakery and get cupcakes. Bring them to your workplace, your school, wherever you would like to share these delicious treats. And all the funds raised from your cupcakes, you can then just put them right onto your online bakery at nationalcupcakeday.ca, and all the funds go to helping animals like Ruby.
That's an awesome, it's an awesome event, but it's also an awesome thing to do with your kids. It's a great way to introduce them to fundraising, to making a difference. Who doesn't love to bake cupcakes with their kids?
You're telling me.
And what schools don't, you know, love cupcakes when they all have bakery sales, as long as you stay away from the nuts and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to do, or at your workplace.
Exactly.
And now, so just to keep in mind, February 27th is the due date. So you don't want to be waiting around. We need to get going on this right now.
Yeah, I say get started right now and plan a cupcake day party. I mean, how much fun, you know, Valentine's Day is coming up. What an awesome excuse to make some sweet treats and get baking, because you can never raise enough money for these little guys. You know, our work never stops, unfortunately, you know, but it will help so many animals. And on the website, you get to choose the center that you would like to see your funds going to, and they will literally directly go to those animals at that center.
That's great. So that's one way to get involved. Another way to get involved is to volunteer.
Absolutely.
And we don't spend a lot of time talking about your volunteers and how important they are in contributing and making a difference in creating this environment and organization. So tell us about them and what it takes to become a volunteer.
We rely very heavily on our volunteers. Our volunteers come in every day, and the work that they do and contribute to our center is vital. Essentially, they help us do everything from cleaning and caring for the animals, making sure that they, in the morning, of course, get their new breakfast and new clean water, and their bed is nice and clean, and their environment's ready for them to have another day. They also spend time enriching the animals by playing with them, giving them some company, because a shelter environment isn't the same as being in a home by any means, right? So to give them some love and a little bit of attention is so important. And then there's some of the more husbandry duties like mopping and dishes and laundry. And I know that doesn't sound very exciting, but it's so important to the everyday work that we do. At the end of the day, we're caring for these animals, and that's what it's all about. So we want to make sure everything is nice and clean and disinfected so that they're happy and healthy to go to their new home. So for folks who might be interested, the best thing to do is to visit our website, ontariospca.ca, and you can go under the volunteer tab. You can check out the different centers that might be looking for volunteers, and you fill out an online application, and once there's openings, we'll give you a call. You know, the good thing is we do see quite a few applications coming in. Of course, a lot are from high school students who might be looking for their volunteer hours. And at the same time, we also are really open to folks who are available during the day. I know students are in school during the day,
Maybe retirees or...
Oh, it's the best. We love our retiree volunteers. Big shout out to them because, they do the sort of, 9 to 3 shifts when the students are at school and that sort of thing. If anybody's interested, definitely check out our website.
Very, very quickly, 20 seconds. What's the time commitment? What's the minimum time commitment? Once a week?
Once a week. I believe it's a 4-hour shift once a week is the minimum time.
Everybody can do that.
You can do it.
Thank you so much for coming in, Callie.
Thanks, Shay.
So if you are interested in Ruby, who's going to become available up for adoption very soon, or any of the other wonderful animals, you can just visit our website at rogerstv.com. We have a photo up, and we'll be able to get you in touch with OSPCA. We are going to be right back. Stick around with us. We have one more adorable animal for you to meet. So excited to welcome Claire Fondren, Media Director at Dog Tales Rescue and Sanctuary. Thank you for being here, Claire.
Thank you for having us.
And you brought your cutie pie Goldie here.
We did.
6 years old.
6 years old.
All the way from Bahamas.
All the way from Bahamas, first time on television.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about Goldie, and she also has 3 other dogs that came with her. What happened? How did they arrive?
So basically, one of our volunteers who has been volunteering at our shelter since we opened our doors, she spends her winters in the Bahamas. And recently when she was there, she took a trip to the Humane Society of the Bahamas and found that there are so many dogs at that shelter that have been there for almost their entire lives. And these dogs have very bleak adoption prospects. So Goldie here was at the shelter for 5 years.
Wow.
She's only 6 years old, so she spent almost her entire life waiting for a home. And there are so many other dogs that are in very similar situations. So what we've been doing over the past couple of months is bringing the dogs that have been there the longest here to King City to find homes.
Because they deserve it, and
They
she's
do.
absolutely gorgeous and very sweet. What kind of home would be great for her?
Goldie would make the perfect family pet. So Goldie, she's very sweet, very patient. We did a photo shoot with her when she arrived and dressed her up in a hula skirt and a lei. And
Yeah, I think we got the photos.
Yeah, she was very patient with us. So I think she'd be great in a family with kids. She still has a lot of spring in her step. She loves to be outside and run around, but she also loves to snuggle up on the couch. So
a home where you can take her out for walks, or there's a backyard for her to play in, one or the other would make for a good home for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of families that visit our shelter do have young children, and it can be hard to find the right dog for that kind of family, and this is the right dog.
So the other dogs that we just saw that also came from Bahamas, all of them are different in terms of what homes they should go to? Or
Yeah, so we have one dog, Cannoli, who's a very...
What a name!
I know. He's a very senior dog, so he's very old, very slow. He is a very sweet dog, but we wouldn't want him in a really busy, crazy household. He really is just looking for a retirement home. And the other 2 are pretty similar to Goldie. They'd be great family pets. So they're all very sweet dogs that just arrived.
And it's really important to look at your family dynamic, family environment, your home, and then pair up with a dog that matches that.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, at Dog Tales, we're big believers in really playing matchmaker with our dogs because we know our dogs inside and out, and we're not just looking for homes for them, we're looking for the right homes where they will stay for their entire lives and won't be returned. And we also want the adoption experience to be really positive for the family, and it can be a little stressful if you bring home a dog that isn't the right match.
That's
so,
right.
yeah.
Well, I absolutely love Dog Tales. I don't know, viewers, if you have seen some photos of the sanctuary, but you've got 50 acres up in King City. It's a luxurious place. It's almost like a spa for dogs. And this concept of really pampering the dogs, where did you come up with that and why?
So the founders of our shelter, Danielle and Rob, when they decided that they wanted to open a shelter of their own, they spent a lot of time visiting different shelters around the world. And with all of these shelters, they would leave feeling very sad.
Yeah.
It's difficult to see dogs on concrete floors, behind bars.
Exactly.
And when you see dogs in that kind of environment, it makes you instantly kind of pity them and want to adopt them just to get them out of there, not necessarily because they're the right dog for your family. So the reason that our kennel is set up the way that it is to mimic more of a home environment is not only to make the dogs more comfortable, but it's to make visitors more comfortable so that they feel like they can come and bring their kids every week until they find the right dog, and so that they don't just want to take the dogs to get them out of a shelter.
Right. You want to make the right decision for you and your family. And you want it to be a love match.
Exactly.
And so you guys have Sundays that are open. You can visit, is it 11 to 5 p.m.?
11 to 5, yeah.
And you don't have to commit to getting a dog that day or any day. You can just come, play, visit, and see what it's all about.
Exactly, yeah. A lot of the families that visit us on Sundays are just starting to think about maybe bringing a new dog into their home, but they're not sure where to begin, and they want to talk to us and get advice. And so Sundays during our open house can be a great time to really kind of get your feet wet and learn more about the adoption process.
That's right. And you had a couple of dogs in last time. It's Dakota and Daisy.
Yes.
Can you give us an update?
So unfortunately, there isn't much of an update just yet. They're still looking for a home.
Okay. What kind of home are they looking for?
So they're definitely looking for an active home. They, if anyone watched last week, they are full of beans. They were very restless on the stage here.
Yeah.
But most importantly, they're looking for a home that can take both of them. So they're
come together.
best friends. They're a package deal. Yeah.
And do you find that that's a more difficult home to fit into, to find someone who can take two dogs?
It can be more difficult, yeah, but whenever we get bonded pairs, we're fully committed to keeping them together, even if it does take longer, because the connection that these dogs can have with another dog, it's not something to be overlooked.
And it's beneficial to the family too, because they'll come together more comfortable, more open, and it'll be an easier transition for them.
Exactly, and you don't feel as guilty when you leave them at home when you go to work, because they have their best friend there with them.
Yeah, and I would assume that it's a very similar responsibility whether you have one or two. You feed them, you take them out for a walk, you give them the love. I mean, it's kind of seems to me like two will take care of each other and entertain each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it might be a great opportunity for a great family.
Exactly. In many ways, I find that having two dogs can actually be easier than having one for the reasons that you just mentioned. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we only have about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Tell us how people can visit you. See the dogs. Get a sense of who you are.
So yeah, if you want to learn more about Goldie or any of the other dogs at our shelter, you can visit us online at dogtales.ca. Or of course, visit us on a Sunday. So we're open every Sunday, no appointment needed, between 11 and 5. So bring your families and make a day of it.
And if people are really gung-ho about adopting a dog, how quick is the process?
It really depends on the dog. So some of our dogs, the process can take about a week. Others, if they're a little more shy and need a family that will build a relationship with them before taking them home, it can take several weeks.
Time.
Yeah.
So give it a little bit of time, come
Yeah.
visit and see what you have.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Claire and
Thank
Goldie,
you.
for coming in. If you want any more information, just visit our website, rogerstv.com. Thank you so much to all of our guests today and to you at home for tuning in. Hopefully you find a little cute pet of your own, and we'll see you next time on What Pet Should I Get?